pitch this? Or are they going to use it for somebody else? And I'm back at square one again with a great idea that's given to somebody else, which does happen all the time. I was in developmental. I remember when Aces and Eights was pitched and it was shot down. It was shot down at OVW, right? And then the next thing we know, we blink and Aces and Eights is on Impact Wrestling. Yeah. And we were like, what? It was so crazy.
Lots of wrestlers are pitching for it to come back now. Like they wanted to come back. Deonna Purrazzo has been very open in saying, yeah, I want to be a part of new Aces and Eights. Like, bring it back.
That's something that I wish Impact would have done differently. It was a very huge surprise. And I actually found out about it based on your tweet about Kylie Ray exiting the business. And I was like, first off. And then my second thought was, they should probably keep the belt on Deonna. Mm-hmm. I thought that, me personally, I felt like that would have been the better way to go, only because there were no offense to Sue Young or Susie. It's just there's so much you can do with building this huge chip as a heel for Deonna Purrazzo that I feel like really put a dent in that storyline, because there's so much that can be done between her and Jordynne Grace and rebuilding Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, I do too. I think she'll end up getting that title back. I think she'll get it back like this week or next week or whenever the turning point match is. I think it's this Saturday. I would say 95% she gets that match or that gets that title back. And she shouldn't have had it anyway. I feel like they did it as like Sue Young was the replacement and she won type of thing. And it didn't need that. It just needed a good match. And those two were perfectly capable of it. And also, I think Deonna Purrazzo is special. She is really good.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a good way to keep adding prestige to that Knockouts title. After Taya Valkyrie had it for so long, she, surpassed Taryn Terrell as being the longest reigning Knockouts champion. Then you have Jordynne Grace coming up the ranks and dethroning Taya Valkyrie. Then Jordynne Grace running through the division. Then in comes, Deonna Purrazzo being the cocky virtuosa. She steals it away from, Jordynne Grace, shoves it down everybody's throat and continues to do so. I think that's a really good way to build up a baby face and another heel. I think that they could have just done better business with that.
Yeah, I do too. And like I said, Deonna is special. They've got a special division. They're bringing back the Knockouts tag team division, which I'm excited for. Hey, they might hit you up. They need some more talent, Taeler.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but tag team wrestling is my favorite. I've tagged with Scarlett Bordeaux. I have tagged with Chelsea Green. I have tagged with Alicia Edwards. I have tagged with Sojo Bolt. I've tagged with so many women. Oh, Jessica Havoc's another one. Yeah. I love tag team wrestling. It was always my favorite as a kid. That was like one of my dreams in wrestling, was to be like a major tag team wrestler. I go back and I watch so much stuff from tag team wrestling, and tagging with Alicia Edwards was so much fun because I feel like we just brought out that Massachusetts fiery attitude, and then tagging with Chelsea Green, I got to be really innovative and creative with her, and it was so much fun. You did a lot of stuff
together, didn't you?
Not as much as we would have liked, but we were Queens of Combat tag team champions. Yeah, and getting to go against women that I love to wrestle, like Santana Garrett, it's a lot of fun because those women are very versatile, like myself. So I love being the base for them to do all kinds of high flying stuff. Like it's just, and Santana just has this ability to take all of my martial arts stuff and she just makes it look so amazing and effortless. And I like working with women like that because we can make each other look good and know without any sort of, questioning behind it that we're going to make each other look good. I love women like that, and then tagging with Jessica Havoc, it was like we literally looked like we jumped out of a comic book. It was so much fun. And I tagged with Kelly Klein for the longest time on the indies. I always joke that I was the poison ivy to her bane. I don't know, I have so much fun. And so I don't know, I just love tag team wrestling. I could talk about it all day.
I remember, I can't remember if I saw the match or if I wrote the report on it, but I know that you all worked with I think it was Ashley Vox and Delmi Exo, the Sea Stars, who I would be surprised if they don't get picked up for the Impact tag division. I'm surprised they're not there already, but there's a lot of people there. I mean, there's some options there that I think should get signed.
Absolutely. I could write down a whole article of all kinds of stuff. That's why I was so excited about AEW's tag team tournament for the women. I was like, oh, finally, yes, get some depth and some variety and versatility. It's amazing. There's so much storytelling you can do with tag team wrestling, and people really underestimate how many women are actually really good tag team wrestlers, women that you wouldn't think to put together. Like when somebody first threw Chelsea Green and I together, and I was like, huh? What is this? And then Soja Bolt was like, no, this is going to be magic. Trust me. And I was like, well, I already love her, so I'm fine with it. And then we were looking at each other and we were like, okay, we didn't know we were winning. We had no idea. It was a long tournament. And I looked at her and I was like, you're on Impact Wrestling. I'm in Ring of Honor. Like, we should be called Dishonorable Impact. And like, that was our like tag team name.
I love it.
And tagging with Alicia Edwards was so much fun because I was able to pull out a lot of stuff that I had actually first watched in the old TNA tag team divisions, whether it was the X division or their men's tag team division before they had the Knockouts tag titles and stuff. So I was able to pull that stuff up again, and I was like, oh, what's old is new. This would be fantastic. And I would definitely look at taking the Sea Stars. I would just put them in different gear and tell them, okay, you guys are now TV ready because this gear makes you look amazing, and you're going to go out there and show everybody what you can do.
It's wild to look back because I remember some of those matches, and I remember I remember you and Alicia Edwards. I think it was you faced Deonna and Jordan on Beyond. Mm-hmm. Like there was to see how rich the women's independent scene was back then. Although plenty were signed, it's still like that now. Like a lot of people think, oh, well, there are promotion wars and talent wars. No, there's still a lot of really, really, really good talent out there, like Jody Threat and Alley Cat. And like I said, the Sea Stars, there's just tons out there that are ready to get signed. So it's a great time for women's wrestling right now.
Absolutely. I would be looking at Viperous. I would be looking at Alex Gracia. I would be Trish Adora.
I think they are looking at Alex Gracia. I think they are.
They are. I'm always pumping her up with so much positivity. Like I would have already snagged her if I was Impact Management or AEW, because she's already so young. She's already so accomplished. She is a perfect pick if you want to invest your money in somebody who's going to be in it for the long haul and already looks TV ready and can work with almost anybody, because she doesn't have one of those egos that I see in a lot of women that kind of make clashes in the ring. And I think some people have picked up on that recently on TV over the last couple of months. And when you can find somebody that looks as good and can work as good as they look without an ego, that is somebody you want to pick for the long haul, because you're going to make so much money with them and for them. I think it's just good business.
I liked you mentioning Trish Adora too, and she's a really good one. Priscilla Kelly's still out there kind of right now. I don't know if she's getting signed. I thought she was
signed. I thought she was still signed somewhere. Did that expire?
I think so. I think it did. But Hyann, Layla Hirsch, I don't know if she signed. I know AEW was talking to her. Killer Kelly's out there right now. Nicole Savoy's out there right now. It's loaded. It's really loaded.
I think the independents are a place that really bring out the grit in how much people want it. Like, if you really want it, you should be sending out at least 50 booking emails a day and keep going. If you really want to be booked, keep going. Send out emails everywhere if you want it. Network, but be a good person. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if it takes 1 week, 1 month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If you're not a good person, all the bad things that you did are going to come back to haunt you one way or another. And so if you're a good person and you're going after what you want, the independence is the best way to show your grit and your gumption as a performer, because you're going to be put in all kinds of crazy in-ring situations where, like, I was in a match where the ropes broke. I showed up to my home fed when I was like 2 years in the business, and they put me in a cage match, and I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
I had to jump off the cage because the other girl didn't want to do it. Like, I don't know, you're going to be put into so much, but it's really going to test how much you love it and how good of a worker you can be in the ring, as well as come up with something that people are going to pay their hard-earned money to see, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's a very exciting time right now, but I'm sure it's a nerve-wracking time for a lot of these wrestlers too, because I'm sure they're not getting paid quite what they would have been if fans could be there too. So that's sad that there's such an explosion of talent right now during an unfortunate period, which, hey, based on some news this morning, might be looking up.